who's present add immense value to this occasion. So ladies and gentlemen, please join me in honor on stage. Please join me with a huge round of applause and let's welcome them. Our chief guest, Shri Shyam Jagannathan, IAS, Director General of Shipping and Additional Secretary to the Government of India, Ministry of Ports, Shipping and Waterways. I expect a higher energy. Thank you, our guest of honor, Mr. Shashi Kiran Shetty, Founder and Chairman, All Cargo Logistics. Next, I would like to invite Mr. Rajesh Nath, Managing Director, VDMA India. Mr. Sasha Schmel, Managing Director, Material Handling and Intralogistics, VDMA. Everybody come on. A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. Next, I would like to invite Mr. Bernhard Mohler, Vice President, Landes Messe, Stuttgart, GmbH and Co.KG. Thank you so much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I would now like to invite for our welcome address, Mr. Bernhard. He has been with Messe Stuttgart since 2002 and since 2005 has been responsible for the international business. He boasts the best quality for his role, the graduate economist, studied economic science with a specialization in international business at the University of Hohenheim, Germany. As Vice President of the Messe Stuttgart Group, he is in charge of this outbound business, the show portfolio of subsidiaries in India, China, Turkey and USA, and of the sales agent network in 56 countries. Moreover, he is responsible for German Pavilion and leading trade show worldwide. At the same time, he is a member of Board of Director, Messe Stuttgart India, member of Board of Director, Messe Stuttgart Istanbul, and member of Board of Director, Messe Stuttgart China. I would request you, sir, to please say a few words.
Distinguished guests, Honorable Chief Guest Shri Shyam Jagannathan, esteemed dignitaries, partners, exhibitors and guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great pleasure and honor for me to welcome you to the third edition of Logimat India. And making the way from the hotel to this exhibition center this morning, I experienced how important logistics is and how important the improvement of logistics is. So we were stuck in traffic and we were late, so sorry for keeping you waiting, and thanks of all you of being here. Over the years, Logimat India has closely aligned with India's logistics and manufacturing ambitions. Today, it stands at the intersection of policy, technology and industry, supporting India's journey towards global supply chain leadership. This year, Logimat India brings together over 120 exhibitors with strong international participation from 7 countries, including Germany with an official governmental German pavilion, the United States, the Netherlands, Switzerland, Italy, China and Singapore. This reflects India's growing importance as a global hub for logistics innovations and collaboration. Logimat India provides Indian stakeholders direct access to global best practices, advanced technologies and integrated solutions across intralogistics, warehousing, automation, transportation and supply chain management. Just as importantly, it is a platform where meaningful partnerships are formed and innovation moves from concept to execution. The theme of this year's conference, Empowering India's Logistics Ecosystem, Resilience, Innovation and Sustainability, captures the urgency of the moment. As global disruption, rapid digital transformation, and environment-related reshape logistics, the focus must be on building a resilient, technology-enabled and sustainable supply chain ecosystem. We are proud to be supported by leading industry partners, Rex and Rollers, Armstrong Dematic, Hume Heinrich, SOTI and J Storage Solution, who represent excellence in automation and logistics technology. Thanks for your support. Our strong association partners, including the Indian Chamber of International Business, the Warehousing Association of India, the Indo-French Chamber of Commerce, the Indo-American Chamber of Commerce, the All India Warehousing Welfare Association, and our strategic partner, BDMA, Machinery and Equipment Manufacturer, comes at a significant moment in the India-German partnership. Bilateral trade between our two countries crossed $15 billion in highlighting the depths of cooperation across trade, logistics, technology, and investment. The recently signed free trade agreement between the European Union and India will give a boost to the trade volume between Europe and India. I would like to thank all of our exhibitors, partners, associations, and the organizing team for making LogiMart India 2026 possible. I wish all of you inspiring and successful days at LogiMart India. Thank you very much and have a good business opportunities and a good footfall of this conference and the trade show. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your kind words. Ladies and gentlemen, now our chief guest, Shri Shyam Jagannathan, a 1997 batch IAS officer of the Assam Meghalaya Catray, consumed office of the Director General of Shipping under Ministry of Port, Shipping and Waterways, Government of India on 3rd July 2023. He has earlier served as Zonal Development Commissioner, Santa Cruz Electronic Export Processing Zone, Special Economic Zone, Mumbai under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Government of India at Mumbai. In his early assignments with the state government of Assam, Shri Shyam Jagannathan has served as Commissioner and Secretary, Finance Department and Commissioner North Assam Division. Shri Shyam Jagannathan has also served as Commissioner, Commercial Taxes, Chairman, Civil Supplies Corporation, Department of Food and Civil Supplies, Department of Finance, Government of Kerala, and separately as District Magistrate of West Garo Hills in Meghalaya, thereby giving him the diverse exposure of 3 states, Assam, Kerala and Meghalaya. He has domain knowledge in the core areas of public finances, export promotions, prospective planning, public policies, analysis and sectoral exposure. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting in the assignment of DG Shipping is being made to leverage technology-based solution to computer end-to-end the workflow process of the Directorate General of Shipping and the examination reform for the compliance to the International Convention on Standard of Training Certifications and watchkeeping for seafarers. Let's give a huge round of applause, and sir, requesting you to please say a few words.
Namaskar. Dignitaries on the dais, Mr. Sashi Kiran Shetty sir, who I have often been mentioning as the poster boy story for how logistics can transform Indian economy. Mr. Rajesh Nath, Mr. Shanal, Mr. Bernard Miller sir, furthering the Indian-German participation, and all wonderful dignitaries, eminent colleagues from the Coast Guard who are participating in LogiMart. Please permit me to make a very brief presentation, and this is largely because I'll start with the global landscape, come to how India fits in the global landscape, and then how critical proper logistics is to power the Indian and global economic progress. Now, this is what everyone is talking about globally. The Honorable Prime Minister's Vikasit Bharat Sankalp, where you and me are a part of this effort, is growing leaps and bounds, will incidentally be crossing Germany in terms of economic growth and GDP value. And not only will we be the third largest economy, we will also be the most democratic and the most stable voice of reliability in today's geopolitical uncertainties. This is where we stand logistically speaking. 2 of our ports are among the top 40. Our turnaround time for ships, which incidentally bring 90% of the best globally, it's less than a day. We contribute among the top 3 nations in global seafaring pool of human resources, and this is where India again can become a logistics powerhouse. In terms of global competitiveness, we still have a lot of work to do. We may be better than Vietnam, but look at where competitiveness they have. Whatever costs, you are then becoming an economic powerhouse because you have a unique cost proposition in terms of contributing any particular government in the post of Director General of Shipping. Please permit me to focus on the maritime part of logistics. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the India Maritime Vision. At this very venue of NESCO at Goregaon, October 2025, the Honorable Prime Minister addressed the nation from here. The Honorable Union Home Minister, Shri Amit Shah ji, participated, and the Honorable Chief Minister, Shri Devendra Fadnavis ji, also underlined what major leaps and bounds are happening in the maritime sector, including one of the 10 biggest mega ports globally happening at Vadva. Maritime specific, national economic specific, these are the enablers of Indian logistics ecosystem, which I have indicated. And what do we need? We need resilience, we need sustainability, and what we need is a true blue economy powering the national growth. One major concern, if you look at how we move our cargo or our logistics, we are more road specific. The cost in road per ton of movement of cargo is more expensive compared to water. So the focus has to be on modal shift. I've already reiterated how critical the blue economy is, while precipitating the growth in terms of faster, better, efficient ports. We also act as one major infrastructure leverage. But for logistics to truly happen, it's not just the maritime domain, everything has to come together. As Mr. Miller had mentioned, traffic is one movement, digital infrastructure is one, which then allows you to physically be at one location and use technology as a leverage to convenience your own logistics. Innovation is something that needs to be powered. The biggest thing happening is the maritime single window, meaning any vessel approaching a port, be it whether in India or globally elsewhere, would have the same interface. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the digital interface for the logistics of tomorrow, unifying everything. The Honorable Prime Minister has pushed the Gati Shakti portal. So you have dedicated freight corridors, you have all these 7 engines driving the logistics, which is basically roads, which is rail, waterways, ports, all of these together, making the nation move as one integrated whole. Let me lastly come to the most critical part. We may talk big about infrastructure, but it is the humans that man it. And here, A salute to officials from the Coast Guard. They are our first responders in terms of maritime distress. They address our NOS DCP, and they have been doing a phenomenal job protecting the Indian coastal security, keeping lives secure from maritime dangerous goods handling, spills, environmental disasters, collisions, rescue of life at sea. Sagar Mein Samman is a salute to women in India in the logistics sector too. We need more and more women partnering their male counterparts while we tread this economic growth story. I leave you with a few slides. Sagar Mein Yog is what we brand as the 10 components of wellness. Good health to everybody, good mental ease, a feeling of wellness, unison of body, mind and spirit. And that goes for everybody, irrespective of which sphere or field they are engaged in. As you mentioned, logistics real-time, 24/7 grievance redressal also is something. The Honorable Prime Minister has said, ease of doing business is paramount, and the government should now become a facilitator and a supporter, not merely a statutory regulator. As I end, I would like to focus on occupational safety and health. Whatever technology enables you to do much more in a limited period of time, do not let go of what is needed for the human element for occupational safety, their health hazards, and a proper working environment. That's what's mentioned for the maritime. And this is the health, safety, and security and environment standards that everyone should adopt, and as a message leaving behind on this wonderful platform of LogiMap. Sustainability also is one specific aspect. Please invest in less energy intensive systems so that you invest in your future, leave a better earth and a better country for the future coming generations. This is the Green Shipping Initiative that we have talked about. I have run through the presentation, but I will be leaving it behind with the organizers along with the speaker's notes, which is much more detailed. Collaboration is something we all need to do. Nobody can win the story alone. It is teamwork. And we are advocating this with the state government, with central agencies like the Coast Guard, Territorial Army, perhaps the state maritime boards, regulators from Government of India such as ourselves, private collaborators, private entrepreneurs, movers and shakers, all together is what defines the nation and its growth. Thank you for this very attentive listening and for this opportunity. I would like to conclude with our motto, the Director General of Shipping's motto, which basically states Sagara Supata, which means let the oceans be navigable. Thank you so much. Jai Hind.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, due to prior commitments, our Honorable Chief Guest will be taking your leave shortly. We feel deeply honored to felicitate our esteemed Chief Guest, whose leadership and contribution continues to inspire excellence and progress in our industry. To do the honor, I would request Mr. Bernard Sir to please step forward. A small token of appreciation, sir. Once again, thank you so much for being here with us and sharing your guidance. Thank you so much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, moving ahead. Next, I would like to invite Mr. Sasha Schmel Mr. Sasha, he has been a driving force in the industry since starting with the VDMA in 2005 after moving to the Materials Handling and Intralogistic Association in 2008. He was appointed Managing Director in 2012. He was instrumental in forming the department dedication to automated guidance vehicle, now called mobile robots, and was a key contributor to the development of the VDA 50/50 communication interface. He leads the trade association in supporting approximately 290 German and European members company across various segments and intralogistic. He will be sharing with us, presenting us the team address and a global perspective of intralogistic and supply chain transformation. Let's welcome him with a huge round of applause.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very honored to be here on the third edition of the Logimat India and to see the improvement in the show and the improvement of technology as well. And technology will be the focus of my conference address here. The world is becoming more digital and networked, and intralogistics certainly is not and may not be an exception. We have a large number of systems that need to be sticked together and make the world work. When entire economies need to become more resilient, the transformation begins on the small scale, where machines connect and materials and data flow. So, as said before, there is a need for greater resilience in supply chain management, and that certainly also affects intralogistics. Automation probably is not longer an option if you want to scale up production and material handling. So there is a growing demand for systems to be networked with each other, and user requirements for flexibility, future security, and standardized data exchange and compatibility are high on the priority list today. So we have to make up our minds, how can we do this? Certainly harmonized and standardized interfaces, and you all know a very good example, at least to my home country. It has been turned out over some decades to be a standardized product in intralogistics with this Euro pallet. So it starts with measurements. If measurements of boxes, measurements of pallets are standardized, it's a lot easier to deal with it. But now we go into digital networks. So we have certainly wrapped our heads around how to harmonize those data interfaces. Open source, of course, can be one solution to have resilient protocols, to have resilient sources, because everyone can look into it and everyone can find the probable security issues. And a lot of so-called white hat guys of the IT world will spend their spare time to find potential problems and to solve them before they even occur. Why should industry not benefit from that? Cross-manufacture and interdisciplinary collaboration is necessary very much, and never forget the user to incorporate in early stages when it comes to interaction of this. So, the how sometimes is easy. What is the example that maybe we can provide, and it's available to be taken as a blueprint and to develop further for individual needs and geographical specialities. The VDA 50/50 is a joint interface project of intralogistics manufacturers and users of those AGVs and RMRs, or mobile robots as we used to call them today. The VDA 50/50 has a standard interface and various mobile robots with different degrees of autonomy, by the way, in a master control system. So you have one software instance that is directing all the mobile robots of your shop floor. That sounds simple, but it has not been the case for decades where AMRs have been around, but every manufacturer brought his own software. So you had to make sure you run several software instances in parallel. You feed the newest maps to more than one software system. And with that standard, we achieved at least the possibility. Certainly it's up to the user how to deal with it, and there might be reasons to have several control suites in place in one factory or on one intralogistics hub, but nevertheless, you have the opportunity now to go through one major master controller and then direct your whole fleet of mobile robots. It was launched by the VDMA, which is my association, together with the VDA, which is the car maker association. And for some reason, the car maker won, who will give the kid a name, so it's VDA 50/50, but it will be easy at some point to have an M in the middle of that. So we are about to release version number 3, and you are all invited to have a look at this plans. The release candidate is online on GitHub, so that is what I meant when I said open source. There is sometimes no need to develop things free from scratch. You might take what is there, have a look if it fits your purpose, take what you need out of it. Open source, you can slice it into pieces and take whatever suits you best. Of course, we would be happy if you take it as a whole and help pushing this technology further down the road to make it even better. So we are inviting the world intralogistics family to take what is there and help us to develop further from there. The main driver for the version number 3 is the improved integration of mobile robots with free navigation. So far, we were coming from the automation. We have some automated guided vehicles, but mobile robots, and we see some of them on the shop floor here, they want to navigate by their own. If someone puts a box in their way, they want to freely navigate around. And you have to consider this in the architecture of your fleet controller. Now, the allowance is given if the vehicles qualify for that kind of navigation, that they perform that kind of navigation, and even deliver the information maybe of the obstacles they had to turn, they had to overcome back to the fleet controller so that he can do a rerouting while this obstacle is in place. Version 3 will define a series of zones for such free navigation. We have some other features like path sharing, display error messages from the power saving mode, which pays into the topic of sustainability, of course. I mean, the availability to work is here the highest priority, of course, for that vehicles, but it is now defined how you can put them in sleep mode and wake them rather quick. So sustainable, even if we put up on the show floor on a German automation show. You can see what I tried to paint a picture in your heads with my speech before. So we have different manufacturers, different vendors of mobile robots, AGVs, even a robot cell was connected to the showcase, and we had one, try to do it again, we had one software fleet controller orchestrating all that process, and it was a connected process. So we had one mobile robot taking things out of the rack, putting it out to the floor, another came, lifted it up, brought it to position B, from there we went to C. Of course, you would have done it a lot easier in real life, but we had to show something on the fairground. So it was a rather complicated case, and it worked. It worked with, I believe it was 8 different vendors, and it worked because they were all committed to one standardized communication interface. And they all developed in this. So there was no big player like coming and saying, I have a standard, and if you want to stay in the game, you have to adopt it. It was a momentum based on a customer, a big customer group, and the industry. We joined forces and had that kind of standard. So maybe my message for this Logimat show then is that I wish you all the best for businesses, individual businesses, but never forget we are heading towards interoperability, and we can achieve a lot more if we work together at the right connection points. This was an example. Maybe it brought some spirit to the conference program, and thanks for your audience.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing these insights with us. Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, moving ahead, I would like to invite our guest of honor, Mr. Shashi Kiran Shetty. He is the founder and executive chairman of the All Cargo Group, India's largest homegrown logistic multinational with operations spanning over 180 countries, over the chain, express distribution, terminals, and logistic park. A strong advocate of digital transformation, sustainability, and inclusive. He is guiding the group towards its ambitious goal and carbon neutrality by 2040. Mr. Shetty also serves as Chairman of Board of Governors at IIM Mumbai and is widely recognized for his leadership, vision and contribution to nation building. I would request him to please step forward for his keynote address. Let's give a huge round of applause to him and welcome him.
Dignitaries on the dais, my dear friend, Mr. Shyam Jagannathanji, thank you for such encouraging words that you spoke about me. Thank you very much. Mr. Sasha Shamel, Mr. Muller, Mr. Rajesh Nath, my friends sitting across me, my colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. As you know, the world is changing rapidly around us. Building an organization of this scale, now I find it much easier than standing up and facing the disruptions and the new technologies that is likely to disrupt or build larger organizations in the years to come. I find that is going to be a bigger challenge to me personally. But to meet that challenge, I have the privilege to have many young people in the organization and many people coming from diverse industries to take our company to the resilience, to sustainability, and for the future. I would like to, first of all, congratulate Messi Stuttgart, India, for successfully bringing the sector together for the third edition of Logistics Platform to showcase future logistics and shape conversations, partnerships, and priorities. In the wake of this newly announced India-EU trade agreement, we meet at a defining moment. A moment that positions India as a fountainhead of opportunities and increasingly as an architect of modern supply chains, shaping how goods move, how value is created, and how resilience is built. That shift is already underway, as you all witness it. India enters this next phase of growth bolstered by a solid policy foundation. Building on national logistic policy, PM Gati Shakti, Sagar Mala, Bharat Mala, the ULIP logistics interface platform, and focused infrastructure reforms, India's logistic costs now estimated at 7.97%, a significant improvement from the earlier 13 to 14%. A huge round of applause should be to all those who contributed to that. This, as I said, as mentioned by our Honorable DG Shipping, that this is a game changer. and this is create the competitiveness for Indian industry to do better business globally. This progress is not merely numerical, as it has strengthened multimodal connectivity, streamlined processes, and integrated the use of digital platforms to optimize supply chains. To give you an example, dedicated freight corridor has reduced wagon turnaround times from 15 to 16 days to just 2 to 3 days, and cut transit times from over 60 hours to 35 hours or so. Strong policy and infrastructure are the key enablers. However, competitive advantage would be determined by how fast we can innovate and adopt. The completion of free trade agreement between India and the European Union marks a watershed development in global trade, which covers 2 billion people and 25% of the world GDP, popularly dubbed as the mother of all deals. By liberalizing tariffs on nearly 90 to 97% of the traded goods, the agreement significantly improves markets access to Indian exports while reducing duties on European industrial products. More importantly, it signals deepening alignment across manufacturing, services, and resilient supply chain at a time when companies are actively diversifying sourcing and export footprints. The recent high-powered state visit of the German Chancellor, Honorable Friedrich Merz, to India has raised the bar even higher. Of the extent cordial and long-standing bilateral diplomatic and economic and trade relations between India and Germany, which is the strongest economy in Europe, as all of you know, and a global powerhouse in the logistics and supply chain sector, which we saw in the multiple presentations we saw earlier. For logistics, the implications are profound, as global opportunity only delivers results when it is supported by strong domestic capabilities. This agreement accelerates India's integration into global value chains, which would require our industries and partners to elevate their standards to stand up. This will only happen when we embrace future-ready technologies, invest in human capital, and make our supply chain sustainable. Digital transformation. In this context, the future of logistics belongs to intelligence. Digital intelligence that empowers decisions at every node. ULIP, the digital platform launched by government, has reached a major milestone by successfully recording 100 crore API transactions in March 25 itself. Today, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and data science are improving forecasting accuracy, optimizing inventory and routing, enabling agility to address disruption. At All Cargo, we have seen this firsthand, how these technologies are actively enhancing decision making, reinventing customer experience, elevating productivity, and delivering tangible gains across operations and performance. Having witnessed this impact on real business outcomes, I would strongly encourage industry players to accelerate the integration of these cutting-edge tools. As per study, AI-enabled optimization can reduce delivery times by up to 20%, while real-time tracking powered by AI increases shipment visibility by nearly 40%, making logistics operations more efficient and transparent, leading to much lower logistic cost. As technology augments businesses, there are other expectations from stakeholders, particularly around corporate responsibility. Sustainability, I believe, is a fundamental responsibility to our planet, to our customers, and to the future generations. Vital adjuncts of the imperative paradigm of sustainability are proportions of inclusive growth that co-opts stakeholder inclusivity as well as robust corporate governance, trust, and transparency. The All Cargo Group has clearly embedded these nuances in its business framework and philosophy. When I look around, I feel proud that our sector is beginning to reimagine sustainability as a foundation for future growth. Green warehousing, powered by renewable energy, efficient design, and sustainability certifications, is scaling rapidly, pointing to a new standard for infrastructure development, and is expected to quadruple from 65 million square feet in 2024 to approximately 270 million square feet by 2030. At the same time, cold chain innovations, including the maiden refrigerated rail service flagged off last year, and multimodal solutions are strengthening food security while lowering emissions. In transportation, the shift towards green fleets from LNG to electric trucks signals a long-term transition away from carbon-intensive freight. Together, these efforts an emerging vision of Indian logistics that is more efficient, more resilient, and aligned with global climate priorities. India has registered 56.75 lakh electric vehicles by February 2025, reflecting rapid adoption of clean mobility. Closer home, All Cargo Group has set an ambition to achieve carbon neutrality by 2040, advancing sustainable logistics through implementation of alternative fuel fleet and renewable energy initiatives. Sustainability can be and should be embedded into everyday logistics operations. By reducing emissions, lowering environmental impact, and strengthening the resilience of supply chain networks. However, we must remember that ultimately sustaining this transformation depends on people. That brings us to the topic of skills, education, and human capital. The logistics sector is expanding rapidly, but technology alone will not carry it forward. People will. The future of this industry will be shaped by professionals who can think across systems, combining operational understanding with digital fluency and strategic judgment to manage complexity. Educational institutions across India, such as IIM Mumbai, are responding to this need by strengthening curriculum in AI, data science, and future-facing disciplines, while building meaningful collaborations with global academic institutions and the industry. This approach ensures that the leaders of tomorrow can translate knowledge into impact, balancing operational excellence with responsible innovation. Currently, 7% of faculty in Indian business schools are expert users of AI, which will need to go up. I was just having a side conversation with Mr. Jagannathan that the academia need to take a lead in this and bring transformative changes to adopt AI and teach AI to the students. Investment in people is ultimately investing in continuity. India, as a consistently fastest growing, currently fourth largest economy in the world, is poised to, at the cusp of historic growth towards what we call in India as Viksit Bharat and going forward as advocated by the Prime Minister of India. Needless to state, robust logistics and supply chain networks are key underpinning in this national endeavor. We are living through a period of realignment, economic, technological, and environmental. The logistics sector stands at the intersection of these tenets. What we choose to build today will shape how trade functions tomorrow, how resilient our economies are, how responsibly we grow, and how equitably value is shared. Let us therefore capitalize on this momentum with clarity of intent and conviction. Together, we can shape logistic landscape that enables our interconnected world and delivers sustainable value for the industry, for communities, and for the generations to come. Lastly, we all have witnessed, if I look back 40 years ago, how the whole logistic industry used to operate versus where it is operating today, which is a complete transformation in terms of infrastructure, in terms of computerization, and in terms of digitalization. So if we are able to focus in the next 30, 40 years, the world can be very different. And ladies and gentlemen, let's all apply our mind and work together to make it a dream for all of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your kind words. Well, now moving ahead, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite Mr. Rajesh Nath to deliver the special address. He has over 35 years of experience across engineering and industrial sectors in Germany and India. He is the managing Director of VDMA India and has played a very important role in strengthening Indo-German trade and engineering, for which he has honored with the Cross of the Order of Merit, the highest civilian award of Germany. Under his leadership since 2008, German machinery exports to India have grown nearly eightfold, with VDMA's India's membership expanding to around 600 companies. A distinguished engineer and management graduate, Mr. Nath is actively engaged in industry bodies, editorial boards, and social initiatives supporting rural livelihoods and skill development. Let's welcome him with a huge round of applause.
Distinguished guests on the dais and off the dais, industry leaders, policy makers, exhibitors, partners, and colleagues. It's my great pleasure to address you today at Logimart India, in fact the third edition of Logimart India, a platform that brings together the very forces that keep the economies moving: logistics, supply chain, technology, and innovation. A wise man once said, "A nation that moves effectively also grows sustainably." In fact, logistics is the silent force behind India's growth story, because India stands at a defining moment in its economic journey. A moment where logistics is no longer a support function, but a strategic driver of competitiveness and growth. India today is the fourth largest economy, with a GDP exceeding $4 trillion and well on track to becoming the third largest economy in the next few years. This growth is being powered by manufacturing, infrastructure, consumption, exports, and digitalization. Yet behind every successful sector lies one critical enabler: logistics. Whether it is moving raw materials to factories, finished goods to the markets, or exports to global destination, logistics determines the speed, cost, reliability, and sustainability of economic growth. The Indian logistics sector itself is vast, dynamic, and full of opportunity. It contributes nearly 14% to India's GDP and employs over 22 million people directly and indirectly. However, it is also a sector undergoing rapid transformation. Historically, high logistic costs, estimated at around 13 to 14% of GDP, have been a challenge. Today, through focused policy reforms, infrastructure investments, and technology adoption, India is steadily reducing this gap and moving closer to global benchmarks. A major catalyst in the transformation has been Government of India's strong and sustained focus on infrastructure and logistic reforms. In fact, friends, in the recently announced budget also, there has been a 10% increase in the allocation, capex allocation for infrastructure and logistics. Further initiatives such as PM Gati Shakti, National Logistic Policy, dedicated freight corridors, port modernization, multimodal logistic parks, and rapid expansion of highways and railway networks are shaping India's logistic landscape. These initiatives are not just about building assets, they are about building connectivity, integration, and efficiency across the entire supply chain. At the same time, India's manufacturing ambitions, driven by Make in India PLI scheme and growing global supply chain diversification, have elevated the role of logistics. Manufacturers today demand logistic solutions that are faster, smarter, greener, and more resilient. This is where innovation, automation, and digitalization come into play. India's logistics story is also deeply linked to the global trade ambitions. With exports crossing USD 770 billion, India is strengthening its position in the global value chain. Efficient logistics is the foundation of export competitiveness. Faster turnaround times, reliable supply chains, and integrated multimodal networks are critical if India is to emerge as a preferred manufacturing and export hub for the world. This is precisely why Logimart India holds such relevance today. Logimart is more than just an exhibition, friends. It is a meeting point of ideas, capabilities, and collaborations that shape how goods move, how industries perform, and how a nation grows. It serves as a gateway for global best practices, cutting-edge technologies, and proven solutions to meet India's rapidly evolving logistic needs. It brings together solution providers, system integrators, users, policymakers, and innovators, enabling meaningful dialogue and real-time collaboration. As you walk through the exhibition, you will witness technologies and solutions that reflect this transformation. Systems designed not just for efficiency, but for resilience, safety, and sustainability. You can in fact experience how global expertise and local innovation come together to build logistic systems that are future ready. For industry leaders, this exhibition is an opportunity to reimagine supply chains. For solution providers, it is a platform to demonstrate innovation. For policymakers and institutions, it offers insights into how collaboration between public and private sectors can accelerate progress. And for all of us, it is a reminder that logistics is not merely about movement, it is about momentum. Before I conclude, I would like to compliment and acknowledge the effort put in by the organizers, Messe Stuttgart India, as well as Messe Stuttgart, who have worked tirelessly to make Logimart India a reality. Also, a big thanks to all the exhibitors. Your commitment reflects the growing importance of this sector and the confidence that the industry places in India, that logistics plays an important role in India's future. Let me close with a powerful thought from Peter Drucker, whose words resonate deeply with our sector today. He said, "The best way to predict the future is in fact to create it." In logistics, every route we design, every system we automate, and every supply chain we strengthen is an act of creation, creating efficiency, creating resilience, and creating economic value. At Logimart India, let us commit to creating a logistic ecosystem that not only moves goods, but moves India forward. Thank you, friends, and wishing you a successful and inspiring Logimart India. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Thank you so much, sir, for such an inspiring special address. Well, now I would request Bernard, sir, to please felicitate our guest of honor. Thank you so much. This wouldn't have been possible without all of you. So I request sir to please step forward and do the honor. Starting with Mr. Shashikiran Shetty. We are truly privileged to felicitate our esteemed guest of honor, whose dedication and value contribution means a lot to us. Thank you so much for gracing this occasion with your kind presence. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a huge round of applause. Requesting Rajesh sir to please step forward. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody, a huge round of applause, please. I request Sasha sir to please step forward. Thank you once again. Everyone, can we have a huge round of applause, please? Can we have a group picture? Everyone, please step forward. A moment for all of us. We sincerely once again thank our chief guest, the guest of honor, for the insight and inspiration special address. Your words have truly added value to this occasion. Thank you once again for being here with us and gracing this occasion with your kind presence. Ladies and gentlemen, everyone, can once again we have a huge round of applause, please. I would like to thank our eminent guests who are among here with us today from India Air Force, Indian Navy, Indian Army and Coast Guard. We thank you for serving the nation and thank you for gracing this occasion. First day, ladies and gentlemen, this is the third edition where we are very excited. As I mentioned, some amazing topics are coming up next. We have some great panelists who will be sharing their experience and insights with us. So please stay with us this afternoon and let's have back-to-back knowledgeful sessions. Thank you once again. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are all set. As I said, this is the first day of the exhibition.